All right, we gave you a breakfast cup of Joe. I guess now it's time for your midday break, time for lunchtime. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but we do have four more. Yes, this looks extremely similar to earlier, but it's not. It's a little bit different.
Bear down, sports making Chicago proud.
All right, so I'll be on in a couple hours with Carl, but I wanted to get this to you guys because there is some movement on the Bears. You see, this was earlier video. Let me just take me off of here. Here's earlier video where we updated you with some of the local visits, some of the top 40 on the or top 30 pro days. Top 30 visits to Hallis Hall. My goodness, speak slower than you're thinking, Adam. All right, so here's the second one of the day. Four more confirmed that are meeting with the Chicago Bears. One of them a local prospect, so he won't count against, but let's get to it. You saw earlier, I pointed out these guys. Let me move this. This is the guys from earlier. If you want to see more on this, check out the video from this morning. Sorry, I'm posting a couple in the same day, but here's the guys from earlier. Here's the schedule. I went over that earlier. Here's last year's. Here's the combine visits. And then here's our newest top 30 visits as of this morning. See, Jaylen Lane, speedster, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, 5'10", 191 pounds, 4.34 40 time. It seems like a theme. Bears are looking for some quicker guys. Also, lots of wide receivers, a lot of wide receivers at the local pro day, at top 30 visits. Bears are clearly not done with wide receiver. John Williams, offensive tackle out of Cincinnati, big boy. This is our local guy. This is the guy from Illinois. So he won't count against the 30 visits. 6'4", 322 pounds. I like them bringing in these guys that maybe need to be polished a little bit. Take one of those seventh rounders with one of these guys. Need a little bit of polishing, need to work on them. You see guys like that all the time, a 6th, 7th round that take a year or two, but then become really solid guys that are starting for you in a couple years. Right now, he's projected to be an undrafted free agent, but a really solid size for offensive tackle. Right across, you see Anthony Belton right over here at the top. Anthony Belton is a mid-round prospect. Right now projected to be a late third rounder in the 90s. 6'6", 336 pounds, and almost 34-inch arms. So he's a big, massive human being. Still, same thing, needs to be refined a little bit, but all the physical gifts and tools to be able to be a developmental guy that could take over for Braxton, could take over for Karan. We'll have to see what happens. But then the bigger news of the day, Shamar Stewart. Really, we haven't seen any movement on the defensive end front. No defensive ends really being interviewed or top 30 visits from them. Now Shamar Stewart, projected first rounder. Many have him, as high as 9, 10. Most consensusly have him between 3rd and 5th defensive end off the board on a very stacked defensive end class. He has all the physical tools. 6'5", 267 to 270 pounds. Texas A&M defensive end. Let's get into each one of these guys. We'll start first. Let's come back to this. We'll start first with Jaylen Lane, the speedster. I know this is really small on your screen. He hasn't put up crazy numbers, but he started the first 3 years at Middle Tennessee, but he is very quick. He's a quick and very athletic. His vertical, his broad jump off the chart. So if the Bears are looking for that athletic kid, this is a good option for him. You can see the overall ranking there for him is at 176. Dane Brugler has him as a 4th rounder between 103 and 138. Bears are picking 148 in the 5th round. So maybe they're looking at this pick there if he falls or if nobody else is looking at him the same way. Good drop rates, not really a contested catch rate guy, but you don't have to have contested catches if you outrun everyone and you just catch the ball without it being contested. So good way to explain Jaylen Lane. I like him. I'm not in love with him, but I think it's a decent prospect for the Bears to bring in and to get a better look at him. Shamar Stewart is the bigger name right here. You see Dane Brugler has him 9th overall. Consensus about 20th ranked. But PFF's, I think, is a little bit skewed there. Just the production does not meet the size. A lot of people will say that scheming at Texas A&M, 39 pressures on 315 pass rush opportunities. Still not bad at all. His tackling is very suspect, not the best tackler, but gets decent pressure, just not big, gaudy stat numbers. Only 2 sacks per year each of those 3 years. A lot of people would be upset with this pick. I don't know if I would be upset with it. I just don't like taking our first round or our 10th overall with a person that I feel like is more of a project than an immediate day one, what you're going to get from them. I don't feel like he's a Jared Verse. I feel like he's a big defensive end that Dennis Allen would be able to use, and I would like to see what Dennis Allen could do with him. I'm just not convinced that he's the right pick at 10 for me. All right, Dane Brugler has Anthony Belton, offensive tackle out of NC State, at 94th overall on his 100 board. Has him as a late third-round prospect. Didn't allow a lot of pressures this last year. 12 on 438 pass blocking opportunities. Did allow 3 sacks though. Again, you're not looking at a first-round prospect here, not someone to start over Braxton Jones, but someone that's really good size that you can bring in and develop. And he is a good prospect to develop overall. All scouts ranking average about 84. So right there with our 72 pick, I don't know, maybe you trade down a little bit. Maybe you get an extra pick from trading down with 39 or 41. Who knows what's going to happen to generate an extra pick. But I do like the idea of these big offensive tackles. 336 pounds is a guy that's going to swing his weight around. But also both of these guys, not great run blockers either. So they need to develop there, get in the weight room. You can see here I highlighted John Williams from Bolingbrook, Illinois. 5-year starter, but he's only 23 years old, so he's still not that old. Projected right now to be an undrafted free agent. This did not count against our top 30 visit. I love bringing in as many of these, big 322 pounds, 6'4", good sized hands, decent sized arms. He will play tackle at the next level. Maybe you look at him to move over to right tackle. We don't have anyone behind Darnell Wright, so I wouldn't mind one of these guys, drafting one of them earlier, even, the two that we just went over. If you draft, too far. If you draft Anthony Belton as a backup for left tackle, take John Williams as a undrafted free agent to come in and compete for the backup role behind right tackle, I wouldn't mind that at all. But decent prospects, all these guys. So just your quick update. Another one, second one of the day. Yes, I know I'm giving you 2 on the day. We're still going live with Carl here in just a couple hours, so we'll see if we'll be ready for that in time. Hopefully we will. We'll do our very best, guys. We're really excited about this episode tonight, so appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll keep you updated. Oh, I did want to show you. Let's hurry and go to the updated list. Sorry about that. So updated list here. I've separated them like I did last year. So here on the left-hand side, here's your first rounders. I've taken both the tight ends out because a lot of people are scrutinizing that, and it's fine. There's just conflicting reports. So I'm going to do an individual visits. Other people are putting Jahdae Barron in there. They're putting several Texas players in there that have not had 30 visits, but the Bears met with them individually at Texas's Pro Day. So there's conflicting reports on all these, but these are the consensus ones that are guaranteed. They have for sure taking the Bears top 30, and we know the Bears are being a little hush-hush this year. So Ashton Jeanty, Shamar Stewart, and Will Campbell at the top of the first round are the ones that are confirmed. Just because we haven't seen other ones doesn't mean they haven't taken them. Trade down scenario or second rounders, Josh Connerly and Jonah Savanea. In the third round, you got Anthony Belton, Omar Norman Lott, Jaylen Lane, and Isaiah Bond. And early day 3, meaning, beginning of the 4th round, if something happens, or if they like them enough to take them in the 3rd round, Kyle Williams and Dylan Fairchild. And then mid day 3 prospects, this would be our 5th rounder, Nick Martin and Brashard Smith, running back. And then late 7th rounder or UDFA's John Williams, Addison West, Bo Collins, and Dante Fleming. So we'll leave that up there for you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Help share the channel. There's a lot of good information we're sharing here. I don't think you're seeing a lot of this stuff anywhere else. So please help me get this thing rolling. We're cruising. We're growing every day. I do appreciate it. So with that, the Bears and bear down.